Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you can see by my sign, we are doing Makeup Geek versus Morphe. Now, if you have been around for a while, you know that I went through a huge Makeup Geek spell where I just wanted every Makeup Geek shadow ever made. And these are the ones that I have. I have all of these, which are mostly they're foiled except for a couple like satin finishes and one duochrome. And there's a couple of dupes in here, as you can see. Not dupes, but duplicates. And I have this palette, and these are not all Morphe, but all of these are except for this one. Actually, let me just move this one out of the way. Okay, so the bottom two rows is all Makeup Geek. So I counted it up, and with my Makeup Geek shadows, I have $290 worth of Makeup Geek single shadows if you would buy all of these separately. You can get them in bundles and stuff and save some money, but we're just going to call it $290. Okay, so I have 5 Morphe palettes, and you could buy all 5 of these for $110 and get way more eyeshadows, obviously. Now, I did have 2 more of these big palettes. They're 23 a piece. I had 2 more of those, but I actually give those to my friend Autumn. There was one that I already had that I'd had for a while, and then Susan had given me 5, and I ended up giving Autumn one of those. It was one of the neutral ones because she gave me 2 neutral palettes that was very similar, and then she gave me a palette that was very kind of similar to the one that I already had, but I liked it a little bit better. So I let Autumn have those, so she has 2 of them. But out of the 5 that I do have, it's $110 worth. And I'm going to go through and see how many of my Makeup Geek shadows I can dupe. And when I counted up, I did not count the duplicates that I had in Makeup Geek. I didn't count those in the price. Okay, so the first shade I'm going to start with is Dragonfly. This is, any singles like this are Makeup Geek. So this is Makeup Geek's Dragonfly right there. I love this shade. It's one of my favorites. I do have wipes handy today, so yay me. Okay, and I think our dupe is going to definitely be in the 35S palette, and I think it's going to be this shade right here. I have not swatched these, so I haven't even used this palette yet. So let's just see. Yeah, they're almost the exact same. Actually, the Morphe one's a little bit more pigmented and smoother. So this is Makeup Geek and that's Morphe, so I'm definitely calling that a dupe. So if you want Dragonfly, look into the 35S Morphe palette instead, because you can get that color plus a ton of others that I'm sure is going to have some more dupes in here as well. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the next one is Dirty Martini, and I don't have an exact dupe for this. This is a matte. But I am going to show you what I have, like some green shades that's in the Morphe palettes, or the ones that I have. Now, I'm sure that there's a Morphe palette out there with a shade very similar to this. But like I said, I'm just working with the 5 palettes that I do own. Morphe has a ton of palettes. Okay, so inside the 35S palette, so inside that 35S palette, we do have this forest green, which is a lot brighter, as you can see, but it does have a green. And then we also have inside the 35U palette, I think this is going to be a color dupe, but it's not a finish dupe. This is a more of a metallic, and it is a little bit darker, but that's in the 35U. So they do have some pretty green shades, and then there's some brighter greens in here too, but these are the ones that was closest. That's Dirty Martini, and then I have this matte green, and then this foiled green. This one's probably the closest dupe, but like I said, it's not a matte. So I don't have a dupe for that one, but you can get some green shadows, and I'm sure, like I said, that there's other palettes that have the exact color. Okay, so next we have Sure Thing, and this is kind of, is this matte? Yeah, this one's a matte one. And again, I don't think we're going to have an exact dupe for this one, but I'll swatch what we have that's close. Our closest one, I think, is coming out of the 35U palette. 35S. I need to remember what's what. So this is S, this is U. Okay. And here is the closest dupe that I have, but this is more of a has a little bit more blue, where Sure Thing has a little bit more green, but they're both that really pretty pastel shade, and both very, very buttery. Actually, I think I like the one from Morphe better, but so you could get a similar look, but I'm not going to call it a dupe because it's not. They're not exactly the same, but at the same time, you can kind of get a similar feel. Next, we have Chickadee, and this is one of my favorites. I love this orange, and this, again, is a matte finish. So that's what that looks like. And we have several orange shades in here, but I don't know if any of them are matte. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I'm just going to show you the orangey ones we have. In the 25A palette, we do have this kind of peachy. This is not near as orange, but I am going to go ahead and swatch it next to it. Actually, you know what? It's swatched pretty orange. So this is in the 25A palette. And then that's the only matte one I have that's close. But in the 35U palette, we have two orange shades that are gorgeous, but they are shimmery and a little bit more intense. This is Chickadee here. And then in the 35S palette, we also have a shimmer, which is almost identical in color, only shimmery. So this is my matte dupe, and that's in the 25A, and honestly, that's almost identical. It's a little bit darker, and then I have three shimmers that's almost the same color. So I'm actually going to call that a dupe. So next we have Preppy, and this one looks like it would be super easy to dupe, but I think it's actually going to be kind of hard because it's like a brown, but it almost has like an olive undertone to it. It's kind of strange. So there it is on my hand. So I am going to kind of look and see what I feel like I have that's close. Inside the 35K palette, I think this is going to be our closest match. So let's see once I swatch it. Yeah, they're very similar in tone. This one's in the Morphe palette. It's just a little bit darker. And then we also have a shimmer that I feel like is almost the exact same color, but it's just a little bit, where'd it go? Okay, right here. Also in the 35K palette, this I feel like is the same color, only it's a different finish. Yeah, right here. That's in the 35K. So both of these are in the 35K. So yeah, I'm calling that one a dupe because these two look almost identical, except for this one has a little bit of shimmer, and this is basically the same color, only it's a little bit darker. But honestly, you could just shear it out and that would be the same color. So I'm calling that one a dupe as well. So next is one of my favorites. This is Cocoa Bear, and it's just a very warm brown. And I think we'll be able to dupe this one a couple times, possibly. So here is a swatch on my hand of what Cocoa Bear looks like. Okay, and I'm going to start with the 25A palette because I'm pretty sure this right here is a almost exact dupe. Yeah. So those are basically the same color, and then you do have some other browns in there as well, but this really warm one is the one I thought would be a dupe. And then inside the 35K palette, I think this brown here is going to be a dupe. So, let's see. Oh yeah, very similar, a little bit darker, but very similar in tone. I actually like these better, guys. I'm not just saying that, I like them better. And let's see, those are more purple. Okay, and inside the 35, is this the U or the S? The 35U, we have this one, which is also almost an exact dupe. So all three of these are Morphe, and this is Makeup Geek. So yeah, I'm calling that one duped. Okay, this next one, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a dupe for, but I'll swatch what I have that's closest. This is Poppy, which is a gorgeous red matte. I love this shade. But I will show you what I have that's close. The 35U palette, we have this shade, but I think it's going to be a little bit more pink. Yeah, it's more pink. So this is more of a muted orangey red, where this is kind of like a pinky red. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to dupe that one, but that's okay. it's a pretty shade. So if you want to get Poppy for $6, I recommend it if you can't find a Morphe palette that has a similar shade, because it is gorgeous. Okay, so next we have Wisteria, which is a really cool tone purple. And the palette that I gave Autumn had a lot of purples in it, so actually that might have been where my dupe would have came from. I gave her a neutral palette too that probably would have been good for that preppy shade, but I think we duped that one pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to swatch some purples that I have, starting with the 35U palette. We have this one. Yeah, that's identical. Like, almost identical. Look at this. Well, this one is showing up a little lighter on camera for some reason. I think it's because it's kind of got a little bit of a sheen to it. This one's out of the 35S. Again, it's almost identical. Next, we have Creme Brulee, which obviously you can tell I love this one. This one's a great transition, and I think that I'll definitely be able to find a dupe for this. So that's Creme Brulee there. So let's see what we got. Okay, so I have 3 different options here, but none of them are exactly the same. Yeah, I don't think that's an exact dupe, but as you can see, you have gorgeous transitions in these. But I'm not going to say it's a dupe because it's not quite close enough. But still, if you have these palettes, you don't need Creme Brulee, just honestly. But it's not an exact dupe, so I'm not going to call that one a dupe. Okay, so next we have Peach Smoothie, which is just a light peach shade, as it suggests. Again, one of my favorites. You're probably not going to get to see it very well on my skin tone. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, let's see what we got. I have this one in the 35K palette that I think is going to be kind of similar. Yeah, they're almost identical. Can you see that? It's kind of a hard shade to see on my skin, I know. Yeah, and this one's almost identical too, just a little bit darker. And then inside the 25A palette, I do think that third shade is almost an exact dupe for this. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so those are pretty much identical, so I'm saying that one is duped as well. Okay, so now for like my favorite Makeup Geek shadow of all time. I'll be really excited if I find a dupe for this because I love this shade. This is Cupcake. It's like a gorgeous purpley mauve pinky transition, and it's like one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to find a dupe in the 35P palette. So I think the second one is going to be almost identical. We'll find out. Yeah, there that is. It's almost identical. Seriously. And then we also have this one, which is going to be a little bit darker, but it's very similar in tone. Yeah. So this is Cupcake, and then these are these two. So yeah, I'm calling that a dupe because these two, like in person, look almost identical. I don't know how different they're looking on camera, but in person they're practically the same eyeshadow. So I'm calling that one a dupe. Okay, and lastly, I don't think I'm going to have a dupe for this. This is Sorbet, which is just a light matte pink. Well, hold on. You probably can't even see that on my skin. It's right there. So, yeah, I don't have a dupe for Sorbet, but honestly, Sorbet is not really a favorite of mine, if I'm being completely honest. So, yeah, out of our matte shadows, we found dupes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And couldn't find dupes for 5 of them. So, we couldn't find a dupe for Dirty Martini, Sorbet, Creme Brulee, but we got really close with Creme Brulee, so that one was kind of a toss-up. Couldn't find a dupe for Sure Thing, but there was that really pretty blue that I actually liked better. And really the only one that I couldn't find, like, that I felt like I would have to, like, personally have would be Poppy, because there were some really close ones in the other palettes to everything else. Yeah. Okay, so let me put these back up and then we'll start in on my other Makeup Geek palette. Okay, so now for the fun part, that's going to be duping my foiled Makeup Geek shadows, which are my favorite formula. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get into that. This one shadow I have in here, I have 3 in here that's not foil, but they're not matte either, so I had them in here. This is one I know I'm not going to be able to dupe because it's like a duochrome. This is Havoc, and it's one of those that shifts from like green to like brown, if you can see that. And I don't think I have anything that's really close. I'm kind of swatching some stuff just to see. No, I don't really have any dupe for that, but a recommendation for this would be the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. They have a perfect dupe. Actually, I have it in one of these palettes. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's right here. So this, I was kind of swatching, so ignore those, but this is the Makeup Geek one. And then this here is Wet n Wild, and they are like the same shadow. So if you do want to dupe for that one, go for the Comfort Zone palette with Wet n Wild, and you'll be happy. Okay, so now let's move on to this yellow. This is not a foiled either, it's just a shimmer. And this, not really a shimmer, it's kind of like a satin, I guess. It's not matte, but it does have a sheen to it. And this is Lemon Drop, which is gorgeous. So yeah, it's like a really shiny satin finish. And for that, I think right here, this is the 35U palette, and we have this gorgeous yellow, which actually is even more intense if you see this right here. And like the finish is almost identical. So yeah, that's a dupe. Actually, I like the dupe better. That's one thing about it. Like when I've been duping these, I kind of like the dupes better, honestly, which is saying a lot. So yeah. Okay, so last that we have that's not a foil is this Poolside, which is another like shimmery blue. This one's actually kind of rough to the touch, but it is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I think our dupe for that is going to be right here in the 35S. So that's Makeup Geek. And then this is Morphe. Yeah, this one's actually more intense. Again. And then in the 35U, we also have like this one, which is a little bit lighter. But again, kind of the same idea. So, yeah, that one's duped as well. This is so much fun. I'm moving into the foiled shadows. I'm going to start with this one because we kind of did the colors that was already like this. This is Pegasus, which is that gorgeous blue shade, a lot like Poolside, only it is foiled metallic gorgeousness. And I love it. I don't think we're going to have one that quite compares to that. The closest one is going to be in this 35, I think it's the U. I keep forgetting what's what. 35U. Let's see. Actually, you know what? That is an exact dupe. That is crazy. Crazy. Look at this. Exact dupe. That's crazy. I'm going to do a look one day with Makeup Geek on one side and Morphe on the other using a foiled shadow just to kind of compare. But no, we duped that one perfectly. The next one's kind of an interesting shade, so it's very likely that we won't get a dupe for this. It's kind of like a silver, but it's kind of got like a green, almost like a seafoam green something in there. It's called Charmed. Yeah, that's what that looks like. It is gorgeous and so shiny and so metallic. Okay, let me just look. None of them's quite giving me that same shine as this Charmed one is. So even though they're close, and I mean very, very close, I'm going to have to say that I couldn't find a good dupe for that one because the shine that this one's giving me is amazing. Next we have Mesmerize, which is kind of like a purple taupey shade. Kind of looking burgundy actually when you swatch it. Okay, so I think we'll be able to find a dupe for this. Okay, so I found an almost exact dupe. This is the Makeup Geek and this is Morphe from the 35P palette. I have this other one I want to just swatch just to see. Right here. Yeah. Again, almost an exact dupe, and that's in the 35S. So, yeah, I'm calling these two a dupe because in person, especially, they look pretty much identical. So, next, I don't think we're going to have an exact dupe for this one, but this is Jester, which is a gorgeous green. Look at that. That is so pretty. I know why I initially loved Makeup Geek shadows, just because they're so pretty. So in the 35S palette we have this one. Yeah, it's a green, but it's not the same. We also have this one in the 35U. Again, it's darker. Let's see. That one's brighter. That one's brighter. So yeah, none of these are hitting the mark with it. They're gorgeous. Like, I think just as gorgeous, but I have another light one here, so it's kind of very similar in tone, but not exactly the same. So yeah, there's not a dupe for Jester, but like I said, the greens, I mean, they have amazing green foiled looking shadows in here. Just not one quite that tone, so we couldn't get an exact dupe for that one. But I'm happy with the greens that I do have in here. Okay, so that's 3 to 4 now. Okay, next we have Showtime, which is a gorgeous burgundy. Look at that. That is beautiful. Okay, I really hope I find a dupe for this one. I have two that's very, very close. I have this one in the 35S. It's a little bit lighter. This is the Morphe one. And then I also have this one in the 35U, which is even more burgundy, which honestly, this one blows this one out of the water, I think. Like, they're both gorgeous, but this one is amazing. Okay, let me swatch this one. I think it's going to be dark, though. Yeah, it's dark. It's just got a burgundy undertone. Okay, so we didn't find a dupe for this one, but this shade, I cannot wait to use this shade. Next, this one I know I'm going to be able to dupe. I feel like I am anyway. This is Masquerade, which is a pretty purple, which is actually very similar to what I have on my lids today, which is what I'm going to swatch first, probably. Okay, so actually let's just start with the 35U palette. No, let's start here. Okay, so in the 35P, I think is what this one's called. Yeah, the 35P, we have this one. That's what I'm wearing on my lids today, but it's a little bit brighter. I feel like these two are almost identical, only the Morphe one's better. Next, we have this gorgeous, like, lilac-y light purple, and this is called Daydreamer. This one is gorgeous. And it's so, like, foiled. Okay, so the only one I'm seeing that could possibly be a dupe is in the 35P palette. And so I'm just going to grab it and we'll swatch and see. Yeah, that's a dupe. They're the same shadow. Yeah, look at that. This is Morphe. This is Makeup Geek. That's like the same eyeshadow. That one's dupe. That one was easy. Next we have one more purple, and this one's a little bit more on like the blue side. And this one is called Caitlin Rose. So that's a swatch of that. Let me just kind of look in here. Yep, right here. And there is like almost a perfect dupe. This one again is very close. That one's the same color, just a little bit darker. But honestly, that's pretty much, that's a dupe, honestly. Like these two, yeah. I don't know how they look on camera, but in person they're very, very much the same. Next we have a blue, which is called Center Stage, and it's gorgeous. Now I know I had a dupe for this one in the palette that I gave Autumn. Because I think I looked at it before, so I don't know if there's going to be one in here that'll dupe it, but if not, I know you can dupe it. Yeah, so this one, that one's too blue. Yeah, these are a little bit more on the like cool tone, like the more like pool color blue. So I don't have a dupe with that one on me, but honestly, like I said, there was one that was almost identical to this in the Morphe. Which one is it? The 35. You know, I don't even remember what it was called. That's a shame, ain't it? But yeah, if you look, you can definitely find a dupe for that one. But we won't count it for now. Okay, next we have a favorite, and I don't think we're going to have a dupe for this one. Maybe something close, but nothing exact. And this is Houdini, which is gorgeous. This is like a teal, dark teal gorgeousness. Look at that. It's so pretty. I don't think we're going to find a dupe for Houdini. Now this one in the 35U palette is very close in color, but it's like matte. So that's the difference. So yeah, no dupe for Houdini, which I kind of figured. Houdini is gorgeous. Next we have this seafoam green, and this is in Fantasy. This one's crumbling everywhere. So that's what that looks like. I don't know how well you can see it. I don't have any dupes for that one. They're all a little bit more green, where that's more like kind of a pastel. So no dupes for Fantasy. So as of right now, we are 7-7, not counting the matte ones, because on the matte ones it was 7-5, make Morphe's lead. Okay, so next we have this gorgeous, gorgeous golden yellow gorgeousness, and this is called Fortune Teller. Look at that. So pretty. Okay, so we have the one that was the one that we considered a dupe for the Lemon Drop, but Lemon Drop and Fortune Teller is almost the same, but this one's not quite as foiled and it's a little bit brighter, so it's not quite a dupe. Let me look at this one. Yeah, and this one's a little bit more bronze, but oh, actually, you know what? That's almost identical. On camera, they look very similar. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me swatch it down here. It's a little bit more orange, where this one's a little bit more golden, and this is a little bit more yellow, where this is more golden. So no exact dupe for Fortune Teller, but close. Very close. Okay, so that put Makeup Geek in the lead for foils. Okay, next, I don't think we're going to have one for this either, actually. This is Whimsical, which is a gorgeous, like, iced pink. You see that? Actually, right here in the 35K palette, it doesn't look like it in pan, but when you swatch it, they're so similar. And then we also have this one in the 35, I think that's the S, which is like the same color, just not as glowy. So it's not exactly a dupe. So I'm not going to call it a dupe because they are a little bit different. A little bit too different. But you don't need them both. Just saying. Okay, so no dupe for that one. Okay, next we have another one that's going to be kind of hard. But we'll see. This is High Wire, which is kind of a icy blue, gray, that color. It's gorgeous. Look at this. That's practically the same color. Ooh. I did not know this was in here, but that is gorgeous. It's like, it don't look like anything in the pan, but you take it and put it on your hand. It's like a blue with a gold shift. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I have to wear that soon. Very soon. Probably like next time I do my makeup, because that is beautiful. Like, and in the pan it doesn't look like anything special. Let's see. Here's another one that could be possibly be a dupe. Yeah, look right here. Yeah, that one's duped, y'all. Those are like the same three colors, just about the same shades. I mean, same eyeshadows. So next we have Untamed, which is an orange, basically. It's yeah, it's basically just orange, and I already know the dupe for this one. This is in the 35A palette. And, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? You ready? Boom. Same eyeshadow. And next we have my favorite, which is Flamethrower, which is like a burnt, whatever you want to call that. It's gorgeous. Also in the 35A palette, we have a dupe, which is right here. And there it is. Same thing. Exact. So for 18 bucks you could get that palette for what it would cost you $2 less than what it would cost you to get those two foil shadows. Just throwing that out there. Okay, we have 4 more. Okay, so next we have Grandstand, which is a favorite. This is kind of like a, I don't really know, kind of a bronzy, nudie, pretty color. I don't know what you call that. I think there's a dupe for that in the 35A as well. I think maybe this one. Yep, there it is. Look at this. Same eyeshadow. They're exact. The 35A has those gorgeous, like, orangey, bronzy, warm tone foils. That's identical in formula. Okay. Next we have this light golden color, which is Magic Act. Magic Act. There we go. So it's kind of a very bright gold. I don't really know about this one. I have to look. Okay, so I can't find a dupe for Magic Act, the light golden one, but I found some really close, but none that was exact. They was either a little bit too pink or a little bit too bronze. So moving on. Okay, so next, I don't think we're going to have a dupe for this one. I mean, I'll look around, but I don't know. This is in the Spotlight. This is like a pink. Very like light, rosy pink. See? Let me see. Can't find an exact dupe to in the Spotlight either. Okay, and lastly we have Starry Eyed. You can't even see it in the pan because it broke, but I'm like saving the remnants of it because it's gorgeous. So if I find one that's like a dupe for this, I'll be really happy. Okay. Okay, so there is that, and I think I already know which one's going to be a dupe. Yeah, I actually have almost 2, but yeah, those are basically the same, this one and this one. You can see that, and possibly this one as well. Let me see, where'd it go? No, it's too pink. Okay, so I'm calling that one a dupe. Let me wipe these off. Okay, so we ended up duping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We ended up duping 19 of my shadows, and we couldn't find dupes for 16. So it was almost split exactly down the middle. But keep in mind, I don't have all the Makeup Geek shadows. I don't have all the Morphe shadows. This is just what was in my collection personally. I honestly think that you could pretty much dupe any Makeup Geek shadow if you had the right palette. And I mean, that was just a fraction. I've showed you a very small fraction of my shadows. Like, look, for instance, this matte, gorgeous Barbie car pink. And look at that. That's beautiful. I didn't swatch that one. You have like these gorgeous like matte vanilla shades. What's another one that's really standing out that I haven't swatched? Right here. This is like a pale like parakeet yellow. You see that? That's beautiful. Let's see another one that's kind of standing out. Okay, like this one. This is like a gorgeous, gorgeous hot pink. Look, I mean, that is beautiful, beautiful. This blue right here, hold on, look at that. That is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Look at the shine. Okay, let's see. Like, look at this, like, pewtery, pale ghost shade. It's gorgeous. And then that wasn't even counting, like, some of the gorgeous, like, neutral mattes in here that everyone loves, obviously. You have your black, you have your shiny glittery black, if that's your thing. I don't know. I just don't think you can go wrong with Morphe shadows. They're really one of my new favorites. I wish they would update their packaging. I would love to see Morphe switch from like this plastic packaging like this to the cardboard, kind of like the ColourPop. Like the cardboard, it could still be black with just the logo, but just have like that soft matte cardboard with like a magnet. I think that would be really nice. Like, it wouldn't have to be anything extravagant, but I do think that they could work on packaging. But then again, Makeup Geek doesn't have any packaging at all. So yeah, I think that this was really fun. Tell me what you all think. I was requested to start doing some dupe it videos, so I said I'd look through my collection, kind of see what I could do. And this was the first one that I was like, oh yeah, I could dupe a lot of Makeup Geek shadows with my Morphe palettes, and I think we did a really good job. So what do y'all think? Did you agree with my dupes and my not dupes and things like that? But yeah, that's it for this video. Okay, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.